everybody. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Well, hello, everybody. We are just hunkering down, going live here on Facebook. And I've got those of you who are on the phone listening to me as well. Happy day before Thanksgiving for those of you in the US. How you doing? I hope you're having a great Wednesday morning. Getting ready for a weekend that's going to look very different probably than your typical Thanksgiving weekend. But today I really want to talk to you all about how do the naturally thin, how do they deal with Thanksgiving and holiday eating? How do they deal with this day? And so I want to share this with you so that hopefully you can gain some pointers or some tips that you can copy so that you don't feel like Friday morning you're like, oh, I'm in pain. What did I do with myself yesterday, right? So I want to help you prevent that unbuttoning of the pants, the putting on your PJs early, big feeling that sometimes Thanksgiving is associated with. So let's look at some things that you can do to help support you have a really beautiful Thanksgiving in whatever capacity that looks like, if that's you by yourself, if that's you with a few family members, whatever it looks like, it can be just a beautiful day. So first of all, the naturally thin, they all shared with me, every single one of them shared with me that they eat on Thanksgiving almost identical to the way that they eat every other kind of day of the week. They eat when they're hungry. They honor their body. They listen to their bodies when Thanksgiving comes around. And so if they're not hungry, they're typically not eating. So here's the difference though. They make sure that they're hungry for that meal. So if you know that your Thanksgiving meal is going to be on tomorrow and it's going to be, let's say, at 7 o'clock at night or 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 11 o'clock, whatever time it is, they are aware of that and they want to be hungry for that meal. So if that means for you that you need to avoid having breakfast because you know at 12:30 you're going to have Thanksgiving meal, then do that. And then what might happen for the naturally thin is what they'll tell me is they'll say, you know what, like I know our meal's going to be at 2 o'clock, and so I'm not going to eat very much before that. And then I'm not going to have very much after that. It's going to be like the main meal. And so they wait for hunger. So if that means for you, might make sense for you to forego breakfast or forego a lunch or forego dinner because it's going to be much earlier, then pay attention to that. Notice that inside of your body. The other thing that they do is that they pick their favorite foods first. Yeah, they pick their favorite foods first. So if they're, let's say it's a buffet style and they're up and they're like getting the food that they want, they pick their favorite foods first. They don't say to themselves, you know what, I'm going to wait to have that and save it, because they know, you know what, it doesn't take very much time or food to fill me up. So I'm going to have those foods that I want now. I want first. So have your favorite foods first. And even if that means looking at your plate and looking at, wow, what's the food that I really love the most? I'm going to have that first, even on your plate. So if you even get that food, then you put all the foods you love first and you put them on your plate. I want you to eat those foods that you love the most on the plate. Why are we doing that? So psychologically you feel satisfied, you enjoy it, you have a great meal, and that you're not waiting to have your favorite foods later. And what if you're already full? Then you have this feeling telling you, oh, I need to keep eating, or I want to keep eating. The other thing that the naturally thin that they do is they are really, really good at listening to that inner dialogue. They don't tell themselves, keep going, keep eating, keep having it, right? They are not scared of the leftovers either. They're okay with leftovers. Leftovers means, hey, great. For the rest of the week, maybe I have 4 or 5 meals that I don't have to think about. Or through the entire weekend, I'm going to have food that I get to enjoy, right? So that makes it much easier for the naturally thin because they're not scared of those leftovers. So even if they ate just a few of the things that they wanted and they didn't get the rest of those things that they were hoping to get because they were already full and they couldn't fit that food in their body anymore because they were satisfied with the food they ate, they're not scared of the leftovers and having them again. Now, that's not to say every single naturally thin person loves leftovers. They do not. There are those naturally thin people that don't. But for the majority of people that I've spoken to, they've shared with me that they are very, very comfortable with leftovers and they actually look forward to them because it makes their lives easier. Because then they get to have it later on in the weekend or the very next week. They don't worry. They don't have conversations about, oh my God, if I have this extra stuff in my home, I'm going to eat it all. They don't have that conversation in their head. They have the conversation of, great, this is going to save me time and energy, and this is lovely. And if there are things that they don't want, they're very happy to give it to a neighbor. Then this, of course, would be most years handing it, going out and giving it to someone else. So those are just a few things you could think out. The other thing the naturally thin share with me is that they like to get out and play. Get out and play. Yes, they love the meal and they love the family time. And that family time might look like going for a bike ride, going for a walk in the morning, going for a jog, doing a Peloton ride, doing yoga together as a family, throwing the football outside in the park, flying a kite. It's family filled and it doesn't have to be just food filled. So this is an important reminder as you're thinking about planning your day or your weekend. Are you just planning the food or are you expanding it out so that it also is going to include all this other fun Thanksgiving stuff for you, like this, that it can be meaningful and fulfilling to you in a really powerful way. They also said to me that they say, and they said different versions of this, okay? So there are different versions of this, but they do say, no, thank you, maybe later. No, thank you, maybe later. So there might be times where they're done. They're no longer hungry. Their body is nice and full. And they will say to themselves, or they'll say to their host, or if they're hosting, no, thank you. I cannot eat anymore. Can you wrap this up? Please, I'm so satisfied. This was amazing. Thank you so much. No, thank you. I cannot have any more. But maybe later. Maybe later, if I'm hungry later, then maybe I'll have dessert. Or maybe I'll have room for dessert. You hear them say that. I'll have room for dessert. Maybe later I'll have room. What does that mean? It means they're so tied into their body, even during the holidays, for the majority of them, that they're saying, maybe I'll have room later. They're not sure, right? Because it's not a sure thing. It's not like, yep, I'm going to have room in my tummy. I know exactly when that's going to happen. They don't. They're listening to their body. They're aware of what their body is saying. And so they might have room a little later on. It's one of the things that they'll often say. So you can copy all of those things. Now, there are a few things that I thought, these are my things, that these are not what the naturally thin necessarily told me. These are things that I've observed over the last years and some things that might help you as well through this weekend. Play host, play hostess. It's one of the things that I watch naturally thin people do this all the time. They don't just like lay and let everybody serve them. They're really happy of getting up. Oh, can I take that plate? Can I get you something? I have friends that do this. They've done this at our house, and they are very naturally thin, and they'll just be like, "Can I get you this?" Or like, "I'm like, you're at my house. Let me get that for you." They're just so good at playing hostess. Can I get you a drink? Can I grab that for you? Oh, here, let me help you out. Let me grab this. What do you need? Can I get you something? Those are the types of things you can think about doing. You can think about being a helpful guest or a helpful host. And I see this occurring a lot. Watch the drinking. Watch the drinking. My strategy for drinking is to have got my water, got my drink. I'll have a little bit of a drink. I may finish the drink, and then I'll have water, and then a drink, and then water. And that just helps me stay hydrated. It also helps me stay in my brain so that I don't go, oh, I don't care. Who cares? Let's just eat everything in the house, right? Let's eat all this pie. Right? So that's one of the things that helps me is just water, a drink, water, a drink. And that's usually plenty for me. So watch the drinking. I know I want you having a good time. I want you having fun. Just watch it, because the more you drink, the less inhibitions you have. And with less inhibitions, it could create more desire to eat and not caring about eating. Okay? Let's see. Oh, also, if you overeat, okay, so you do. If you overeat, what I encourage you to do is don't give it a lot of energy. You overate, you had a day, move on, right? You overate, you had a day, that's it, move on. Don't allow this to take you out of the game at all, ever, okay? I don't want you doing that. I don't want you taking yourself out of the game just because you overate a little bit. I don't want this to lend itself then to you having negative self-talk that flows into Friday, that flows into Saturday, that flows into Sunday. Okay? Just get right back into listening to your body, honoring your body, boom, done. And if the naturally thin overeat, which they do on occasion, right? They're about 2%, 3% of the time. So about every 2 to 3 meals out of 100. So if, let's say, Thanksgiving is one of those times where they do find themselves overeating, they just get right into listening to their bodies, because they hate the way that feels inside of their body and inside of their skin. Okay? So don't let one meal or one day spiral you down. No, bringing it back up and start meeting yourself where hunger lies and listen to it. Okay? What other tips do I have for you? The most important, two most important other things. The day of Thanksgiving, when we really, really, really look at the day of Thanksgiving, this is why it's hands down my favorite holiday. It is about giving gratitude, giving thanks. If that's your day, like, I don't care about, for me personally, I couldn't care less about turkey or stuffing or anything. I don't need any of that. What I love about this day is I love the day giving thanks, being with my family, sharing with them how much they mean to me, doing something with them that is important to me. And I think when it comes to gratitude, like writing a check to a food pantry, doing something where you just can, excuse me, my nosy, doing something where you are giving back and showing your gratitude for all that you have, all that you are, the amazing life that you have, for the body that you have, even if you want it to look different. How amazing that we have bodies that we can move and change and shift. Like, this is why it's my favorite holiday. This is why I love it so, so, so much, because it is so amazing to be able to give gratitude and give thanks to those of you, to all of the people I love. So be in gratitude. And then lastly, if you want to do something above and beyond, like not everybody is able to have a meal. So making a few sandwiches and bringing them over, slicing up some turkey and giving somebody, having a rotisserie, chicken or turkey and giving it to somebody. Doing just something nice for somebody else is just a really beautiful way to end or create a weekend of gratitude, of thanksgiving, of love and loyalty and joy. And that's why it's my favorite. I just love having a holiday, all about being grateful, all about the fact that, at least this is how I see it, of a holiday where I get to be grateful for all that I have and all that is around me. And I am so blessed. And so it's not really about the food to me. That's so exciting. It's about the gratitude and having a holiday where I can just spend that time and be in that space. How lucky to be having a holiday like that. So what questions do you have? How can I help support you? Anything on your mind around worries, concerns, feelings of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Share with me. And I love seeing so many of you on. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. I love seeing you. Hi, Miss Donna. Hi, Teresa. So nice seeing you. Hi, Miss Annika. So fun seeing you. And love you. Love seeing you. Lori. Awesome. I think most of us are not having the kind of Thanksgiving that I'm talking about. No guests, lots of time. We'll be challenging to stay out of the kitchen. Yeah, no, I get it. Do not have any rose-colored glasses on. It is not going to be the same Thanksgiving as I totally get. And most of you will be eating. And so I want to make sure that if you are preparing, even for your small family, this food, you can use all of these tools that I'm giving you. Absolutely. It might look, and it will look for the majority of us, very, very different. But we can all be in gratitude. We can all be giving thanks. We can all be honoring our body. We can all go for a walk. We can all do these things to take care of ourselves. And if you are, hosting a family or a few family members over, you can use the hosting kind of way of showing up for yourself or your family too. Yeah, no, I get it. It is not going to be the same at all. A friend of mine is wrapping up plates for my family so she won't have leftovers and my family gets a traditional meal. Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. I love that. Fantastic. I look at it as one meal and maybe I will eat a bit more than normal, but we'll skip breakfast and dinner, but it's not going to stuff myself. Yeah, exactly. That's very much the thinking that I have around it. It's like one meal. It's not that big a deal. I don't even know if we're going to do it traditional style or not, because I couldn't care less about turkey and stuffing and any of that. I just really don't care about that kind of food. I like being with family, and I like just the idea of playing board games and having a good day and just enjoying my family and giving thanks and writing a few checks and doing a few things just to give love and gratitude for all that I have. So that to me is the most special part of this whole holiday experience. I'll be doing FaceTime with the grandkids, yay, as they're sitting around the table at my daughter's. Awesome, being able to see family in whatever way that you can. And some of you are going to be like, woohoo, I don't have to make a whole meal. This is going to be the most stress-free Thanksgiving meal experience I've had in a long time. So some of you I know are looking forward to that. Others of you are feeling really sad about that. All I can say is, you know what? It doesn't have to be an experience where you're sitting around the house and feeling miserable. You can feel it when you move from misery to gratitude, it just changes the whole experience. What can you be grateful for? And just really be spending that time in that gratitude space is what I encourage so many of you to do. So I saw an exercise where each person writes something they're grateful for on a leaf, and you tack them to the wall on a gratitude tree. Oh, that is so cool. I love that. I love that. And I think, how cool. Maybe we can do some of the stuff inside the inner circle where we'll do some gratitude work. That is super, super cool. I love that. What a beautiful thing. I know one year at my kids' school, they did something like that where and you could just put something you were grateful for. It was just so cool. And you saw all these notes all over the tablecloth of things that the kids wrote that they're grateful for. It was so, so, so cool. So there's a lot to be grateful for. There's a lot to be, whether it's our body, whether it's our family, whether it's our health, there's so much to be grateful for. So hopefully this gives you a few little ideas that you could implement this weekend, today. You take action on one of them, then I have done my job to help you really align with your naturally thin self and spend the Thanksgiving holiday in a naturally thin fashion. All right, everybody. All right, I'm not taking much of your time today because I know everybody is kind of excited about getting this weekend started and starting to make this Thanksgiving, whatever it might be for you. Just be good to yourself, be kind to your body. And if you need anything, know that I am here. All right, everybody, talk to you soon. See you next week. Bye.